Merry Christmas, gang! Welcome to another edition of Doc's Holiday Schlock, where it's a review of the movie The Christmas Season Massacre. 'Twas the night before Christmas and everyone's dead. Of course, anybody who made this movie had to have been brain dead. There's a killer on the loose, and his name is Tommy One Shoe McGrew. Now, the reason why he got the nickname of One Shoe is because, well, he didn't put it on himself. Apparently, when he was a kid, his family was so poor, and they could only afford to buy the poor kid only one shoe. And when he went to school, all the kids picked on him and teased him and called him One Shoe McGrew. Well, something in him snapped, and he decided to become a serial killer. Doesn't that always seem to happen to the nicest guys in the world? Apparently, a bunch of Tommy's old friends from school have decided to get together, go to a place out in the woods to, what else? Take out Tommy once and for all, although some people believe that Tommy's nothing more than an urban legend. But Tommy shows he's no urban legend when he walks in on a couple about ready to have sex, and, well, the wife is blindfolded, and he winds up having sex with her, and, yeah, weird, idiotic ending coming up. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Tommy finds the house where his old schoolmates are at, and you guessed it, starts killing them all off one by one by one. Although some of the kills in this movie kind of reminded me of some other really famous horror movies. Well, let's see. There's this one couple out on a boat on a lake. Tommy comes up from out of the water, stabs them both. There's the nerd of the group who doesn't hear Tommy coming until he steps on a twig. He turns around and Tommy's holding a chainsaw, even though he's revving that chainsaw up as loud as can be. Figure that part out. And there's also the final end part, which I'm going to get to right now, where Danny is the only one left, and he winds up putting a railroad spike into Tommy's head, in which he sits away from Tommy. Now, tell me if any of this sounds familiar. He's thinking it's all over, and Tommy sits up with the railroad spike in his head and winds up killing Danny. We cut to 5 years later. The woman that Tommy had sex with around the beginning part of the movie, or at least a little bit in the beginning part of the movie, she had a son. And naturally, it was Tommy's, because the man she was with apparently couldn't satisfy her sexually. She wanted a kid, and yeah, I don't really want to get into that because it was stupid anyway. And Tommy winds up giving his young son an eye patch, because Tommy had a thing for pirates when he was a kid. And probably the most idiotic ending ever. Tommy still has the railroad spike in his head, and his wife does, and the woman he got pregnant, which I think they wound up getting married, but his wife didn't seem to care that he has a railroad spike in his head. So why did this movie suck? It seemed like it was another one of those shot on video, really badly done horror movies. Most people in the movie looked like they might have come from a high school play. That's probably about the only acting they've ever done in their lives. Really crap movie, very bad. And Tommy looks like he has not changed his clothes in 5 years, and he has that railroad spike in his head. It's just such a ridiculously dumb movie. The gore in it is pretty bad. At one point, they tried to see if they could contact Tommy with a Ouija board, and I'm thinking, Tommy's not a spirit, he's a human being. At least you think so, until yeah, I've already been through that crap enough times. But this is my pick for the worst Christmas horror movie. Now, next year I might change my mind, because I'm thinking about doing another top 10 worst Christmas horror movies, because I know there were a lot of them out there I did miss out on. And I'm going to try and have them in for next year, because there is one that I meant to try and check out. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, but I'm going to try and check that bad boy out. and maybe have it for an upcoming episode of Doc's Holiday Schlock. And it's a sequel, which I did not know there was even a first one of this piece of crap. But yeah, it's really badly acted, so I'll try and do a review of that one sometime in the near future. I want to say to you guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys had a wonderful, awesome, great Christmas. And hopefully you'll never have to sit through this piece of crap movie. I really mean that. Oh my goodness. But again, hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie that, no matter how many times they try to put Massacre in it, it was a massacre of acting, blood, gore, and everything else, send it my way and I'll get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching. And until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on.